Hello everyone, and welcome back to Dream Beyond. If you're new to my channel, my name is Lorraine, and I'm here to help you dream beyond. So today I'm going to take you a little deeper into that little story I shared with you last week, and that was on my camper trip. So I told you too that I moved to Florida, and then a friendship of over 20 years fell apart, which was devastating for me. So I felt really lost. So not knowing really what to do, I decided to buy a camper and travel the U.S. alone. Let me also go ahead and mention that I never towed a thing in my life. So I got 2 towing lessons from my friend's husband before I took off. Now, you're probably thinking I'm crazy. My friends thought I was crazy. And even at times I thought I was crazy. But you know what? Sometimes when you feel desperate and you just don't know what else to do, you do something a little crazy. And I have to say, it was one of the best experiences of my life. And a big reason for that is because of the confidence it built in me. So I took off on this trip from Cape Coral, Florida. I went all the way to Toronto, Canada. There I went to a Bob Proctor event while I was up there. And then I started back south. I really had no plan, no date lines. I was just traveling. And there were times that I would stay in parks, like I stayed in this beautiful state park in Oklahoma, somewhere in Oklahoma. And I was probably the only person in the park, which was a little creepy and also extremely peaceful. I'd only planned on spending one night there, and I ended up spending 3 because it was so peaceful. I enjoyed that park so much. Along the way, I learned a whole lot of things too. You got really good at figuring out how to back up, how to pull into places so you don't have to back up, asking for help when you need it. So one of my favorite stories about that whole trip was my very first time of getting gas. I hadn't even got out of Florida yet. And thank goodness this was like one of the very big gas stations. And I'm facing the actual convenience store. So I get my gas and I start to pull out, and I think all is going well when a lady coming out of the convenience store, I see her just walking along, and she went, well, as I turned, just the last little bit of my camper, the bumper of it, caught one of those concrete barriers that's in front of the gas pumps. Now we know exactly why they put those barriers in front of the gas pumps. Anyway, that was one of my favorite moments. First time getting gas, scared the crap out of me. And honestly, if I hadn't seen her face when she came out of that convenience store, I wouldn't even known what happened. I didn't feel a thing. But what it did teach me is if I was ever in a position that I might need a little help on getting out of a tight spot, to ask. And a perfect example of that was I was traveling and I was almost out of fuel. And I pulled into a gas station, I'll never forget it, in Roswell, New Mexico. And it was really tight, like it was a small little gas station. There was like 3 lanes, and I just so happened to only be able to pull into the lane that was closest to the building. Well, I'd seen a guy making eyes at me at a pump, couple pumps over, and as I was just finishing up, he was walking in the store, and I literally went up and said, "Hey, would you do me a favor?" He was like, "What's that?" I'm like, "Can you just watch me pull out and let me know when it's safe to turn so I don't take out the gas pumps?" He thought it was funny, and I thought it was funny too. But he did exactly that. That was one of those moments where better safe than sorry. So I am not too proud to ask for help when I need to. And let me tell you, just doing little things like that made this adventure so much fun. Because there was another time I was ready to pull off for the evening, and I saw a sign that said RV. Now, from where I was, because I was also at a gas station, I couldn't tell if it was an RV park or a RV service center and sales. Well, I ended up pulling over there, and it did end up being a sales center, but I asked the gentleman inside, I was like, hey, do you know where I could pull in for the night? I'm just passing through. I only need one night. He was like, well, actually, I live at an RV park just up the road, so how about you just follow me up there? And so I did, and him and the guy who ran the park actually got me all set up, pulled in. I didn't unhook that night because I didn't need to. I was pulling out the next day. But he actually said to me, he was like, hey, I'm going to run back out and grab some dinner. Would you like for me to pick you up something while I'm out? And I said, well, if you'll give me a little time to freshen up, how about if I just go and have dinner with you? He thought, okay. And sure enough, he gave me about 30 minutes, and he come back and got me, and we went out to dinner. Now, right here, just telling people most of that story, they'd be like, are you crazy? Why would you get into a truck with some dude you didn't know? But let me tell you, we went to his favorite little place, and the waitress, of course, knew him because he was in there all the time, and asked who his friend was. And he said, she's just a lady I met about an hour ago. Well, she didn't believe him, and I was like, no, that's true. I'm just a lady he met about an hour ago. And we ended up having a wonderful dinner, and then at the end, I paid. And this gentleman was probably 20 years my senior, so he was like in his 70s. And he was like, no, you can't pay. And I'm like, you did something very kind for me, so in return, I want to do something very kind for you. And I bought dinner. And he actually almost teared up for that because he was like, I've just never had a beautiful lady buy me dinner before. And I thought that was so sweet. But again, it was one of those special moments. Like, I'll never forget the way it seemed like I made him feel just by that little bit of kindness. And so that was one of my favorite adventures on the whole trip. But there were so many different times. But talk about building confidence. When you're traveling alone like that, you get really good at setting your camper up, hooking up the tanks and emptying the tanks and all that sort of stuff, backing a truck in just to get that hitch just right to set down on it. It was such a powerful thing. Now, I know some of you are watching going, oh my God, that sounds incredible. I'd love to do something like that, but I'm just not that brave. Well, let me just tell you, if you wait till you're ready, you'll never be ready. You'll never do it. I was not ready. I was not, well, I won't say I wasn't brave, because what is bravery? It's being scared and still doing it anyway. I was scared. I was scared the whole time. At night, I can just remember how I would finally just relax, like, whew, I'm finally off the road, blah, blah, blah. But every little step just built more and more confidence in what I was doing. So part of my reason for sharing this story is because so many times we think we need to wait until we're ready. You might never be ready. Just do it. You'll get ready along the way. It's just like, again, I moved here to Portugal. Was I ready? No, I wasn't 100% ready. Was I scared? Absolutely, I was scared. And again, you heard from the earlier videos that a boyfriend was supposed to move with me, and he ended up not, but I still had to follow my dream. It was my dream. This would have been something that had I said, no, I'm going to wait because he's not ready. And if it never happened, it would have been a deathbed regret. And I want to leave all my cards on the table. And I'm sure most people do. But they don't. They play it safe. So there's a great quote that says, a boat is safe in a harbor, but that's not where the adventure is, in the harbor. And you're not meant to be stuck in a harbor either. Life isn't about adventure. It's about fun. It's about growth. It's about doing those things that set your heart on fire. So again, the whole purpose of my channel is to inspire you and encourage you to do something that you've always dreamed of, to dream beyond what you thought was possible. We're not meant to live a mundane life where every day is just like Groundhog Day and you do the same thing over and over and over. That's not what life's about. Now, I'm a big believer that the more people travel, the less hate there'd be in the world. And God knows we need that right now. There's so much going on all around the world. So I encourage you, if you don't have one yet, apply for that passport. Get that passport. If you do have one, book that trip. It's time. Get out and see the world. See what else is out there. So again, I hope I see you sometime on one of my trips. Now I'm going to put a link down below in the description. I do have an opportunity coming up in June that you're welcome to come with me, and let's go see Greece and Turkey together. I would love for you to be on that cruise with me. And until next time, please dream beyond. Have a great day.